And that's why, as your next mayor, which is happening in exactly 6 months' time, I will get London back to work. Period. That is my one main aim. If we can get London back to work, we can show the world, we can show the country of Great Britain what a city looks like when it's functioning, right? When it's making science-based decisions, a proportionate response to the virus, and we will start repairing our badly damaged economy. We will start giving hope to our younger generation. We will start building our health. Again, this is a conversation about control versus elimination. The government, the mainstream media have sold you a fairy tale that we can eliminate this virus. And therefore you are giving away your freedoms, your civil liberties, your own livelihoods, your mental health based on this fairy tale narrative of elimination. The truth is, we can only control this virus. We have to find a way to live with it, and we can. Like we found a way to live with almost every other virus in the past thousands of years. We can find a way. We protect the vulnerable, but we also find a way to make a proportionate response to the virus. So let me say this, and this is a very important point. Not only can we protect our vulnerable, but we can also build our economy. It's not one or the other. In fact, we can do both, and we must do both. This is important. The government seems to tell you it's one or the other. We can protect our citizens, or we can have our economy. You can't have both. I disagree. You can have both. In fact, you must have both, because without an economy, how can we pay for anything in this country? Education, health services, roads, food, anything. We cannot. We must have both. So we need a solution that provides both, and we have that solution. It's about getting London back to work. And it's simple how we're going to do that, getting London back to work. First of all, I, as your next mayor of London, am going to encourage all office workers, especially those in the financial capital, the city where I used to work, to get their employees that are able back in the office. I'm confident we can get 20, 30, 40% of those workforce back in their offices. I'm talking about sitting down and having conversations with 30 of the global financial institutions, law firms that are big employers in the city, and finding out how can we get these employees back in the office, and that will kickstart our economy right now in this city, and for the country it will. Next, I want to allow outdoor seating and the use of streets in our cities until December or March of 2021. It's going to kickstart our retail and our hospitality sectors so they can have COVID-friendly places where people can sit. It's going to give businesses a boost, but right now they are fighting tooth and nail with councils that are not letting them do that. Next, I'm going to remove the congestion charge entirely until mid-2021. There is no point in taxing people when you're barely getting them to spend. This is ridiculous. So the congestion charge holiday happens as soon as I am in place. Next, we're removing business rates. Business rates get a holiday. How can you expect a business to barely make ends meet when you are taxing them? Right now, we need to do anything we can to help our businesses survive. Next, I will stimulate key sectors like the hospitality industry, our arts and culture, and our tourism industry. They need specific help, not some blanket furlough policy that our current chancellor gives to all industries. That's a waste of money. It's frivolous, and I will not do that. Next, we're going to implement science-based protocols, which are being done to an incredible extent in our hospitality venues. These places have created one-way systems, hand sanitizers. These places keep your food safe. They keep everything clean in these establishments. They know how to do it, and they can implement it with great science. We're going to open up our theaters, our museums, our concerts. I've had incredible conversations in this studio with people from this sector that specialize in all of these issues. From our London buses to our arts and our theaters, we can find solutions. And finally, we've got to get our children back to school and keep them at school. We still have low occupancy rates because teachers are in fear of COVID. They can still not get tests, and students are still being held back from school. I will get them back to school, which will get London back to work. These are real solutions that will work. What's not going to work is this, is when our current mayor crusades for a lockdown, when he takes boroughs of this city into lockdown when they didn't even qualify for a lockdown. What's not going to work is when our current crop of politicians seem to have their own agenda that's not based in science. That's not going to work. And that's why, as your next mayor of London, my number one priority is to get London back to work. Because when we do that, everything else will fall in line. And when we don't do that, everything else breaks down. And that's what we're seeing happening right now in London, in all cities here in the UK, in the country, and throughout the whole world. We're seeing a disproportionate response to the virus. We're seeing a total lack of leadership, and we're seeing a complete lack of science-based decision-making. As your next mayor of London, I promise to change all of that. And the thing is, it can be changed like that. We can literally see solutions within weeks, I promise you, and you're gonna watch us do it, and the whole world is gonna watch us. And London as a city, they're gonna watch us become world-class once again. We are currently one of the lowest performing major cities in the world. That is a joke. And it really saddens me. We could lead the world when it comes to an economic comeback and show the other cities of the world how we can do it here in London and in Britain.